like the best way to edit this vlog is to add a voiceover just because there isn't a lot of conversation happening throughout the vlog. This week, I just want to take you along with me for a couple days during the week of just what normal days look like with me as being a stay-at-home wife. I usually start the mornings with some cleanup from last night. I wipe everything down, definitely open all the windows. Moving from the apartment to this house, one of my biggest things that I'm grateful for, I guess, in the house is all the natural light, just because the apartment didn't have that. There was one window that lit up kind of the whole living space, and here we have definitely much, much more natural light. Something else I've been doing a lot more of recently is making sourdough. It's something that I love to do. My husband loves it, and it is pretty simple. So if it's something that you've been thinking about doing but don't know if you really want to start it, try it because it really is not as complicated as a lot of people make it seem. The recipe that I've used for my starter and then now to make my bread is from Farmhouse on Boone. I absolutely love her. Anything sourdough related, any recipe that you're looking for, she definitely probably has it. And so I will link her in the description, but that's the recipe that I'm using. First, I'm going to add my flour and my water into a bowl. I'm going to let that sit and let the flour really absorb the water for a little while. And while I do that, I head outside to play with the pups and we get some of their energy out this morning because they definitely do have a lot of it, especially in the mornings.
Look here. Hi, honey. Good girl. Good girl. That's such a good girl.
Once we get back inside, I go ahead and add the starter and the salt to my sourdough bread. I incorporate everything using my hands just because I feel like it's so much easier to make sure that everything gets mixed in when I use my hands. Next, I'm going to get started on breakfast by cutting up some peppers. I've been having a lot of scrambled eggs and peppers for breakfast, and that's again what I'm having this morning. But as always, I set aside a few slices for the dogs because peppers are their favorites.
So we're gonna get ready to head to the grocery store. We need some things for the week. I did meal prepping this morning and got my grocery list all written out. So I have that. We're gonna head to the store and I'm kind of just spending a few days with me, I guess. We're just gonna spend a few days doing whatever. I did start making bread this morning. It won't be done until tomorrow morning because it takes a while. I'm making sourdough. But the last loaf I made was so good. Like, I think that was my best one and I hadn't made it in a long time. So I'm proud of that. And I'm hoping this one's gonna be just as good. So I'm gonna kind of show you that process. I'm doing that today, grocery shopping. I just kind of cleaned up a little bit this morning, just kind of followed me through my morning routine. I did wake up early and made Brennan coffee this morning. Let me tell you, I had such a malfunction with the coffee maker. I had to make the shots of espresso like 4 different times because it wasn't working, so I don't know what I was doing wrong, but it was not going my way this morning. So I was up early, definitely went back to bed and slept in a little bit this morning, but I'm heading to the store. We're gonna get our groceries that we need for the week, and I'm gonna stop by the apartment because I did order more espresso beans. However, I accidentally put the shipping address as the apartment address, so I have to go there and see if they've been delivered. If they're delivered, go pick them up. So, my bad. But we're gonna head out. We're going to head to the grocery store, do the things that we need to do, and then get back home. So, let's go grocery shopping. Listen, I realized when I got to the grocery store that I wore my house shoes, so I really do look like a bum, but it's fine. I went to the grocery store in my house shoes, and I looked a little ridiculous. Did I lose the butter? I'll be right back. Found it. All right, so I'm gonna give you a little grocery haul and tell you kind of what I'm making with everything. I go grocery shopping once a week usually. I will have to go back to get like lettuce for tacos because we're having it later on the week and the lettuce always goes bad. But starting off strong, I also need to clean up the fridge before I do this. Eggs because we need more of those, and butter because we always need more butter. Taco shells because we're having tacos. Molasses because I use it to make brown sugar. Parsley because we're out and I actually remember to grab it, and bananas just to have snack on, and then eventually towards the end of the week I'll make banana bread, and then sugar and flour because we're running low, and those are two things I don't want to run out of. Frozen shrimp because we're having like shrimp scampi, shrimp alfredo. I don't have a recipe for it, I just make it, but it's kind of like a mixture between shrimp scampi and shrimp alfredo. And then taco meat for our tacos, Parmesan for the shrimp scampi, and for our Parmesan crust chicken, which will go with our red sauce. Heavy whipping cream to go with all the sauces that we're making. A whole bunch of tomatoes for our red sauce. Garlic for the red sauce. Onions for the red sauce. And peppers for breakfast and or to snack on.
Right away the following morning, I finished up the sourdough loaf that I started the night before. I know there are a lot of other recipes out there that you can do the same day. This day you started is the day that you bake it and that it is done. I just found that this recipe has so much more flavor. It has a lot more of the sourdough flavor that I'm looking for. And so it's worth the extra day, the extra time to make it. It really isn't a lot of time because most of the time that you spent making the sourdough is just the dough resting, but I just find that this recipe gives me a higher quality loaf, in my opinion. Unfortunately, today my husband was homesick, so I did make some chicken noodle soup for him. It's his favorite and pretty much the only thing I can get him to eat when he's sick. So I made some of that for him today, and it worked out perfectly timing wise because we had a fresh loaf of sourdough and some homemade soup for dinner. If you have been watching my videos, you know that I do like my coffee in the middle of the day, not in the morning like most people do. So I went ahead and made myself a cup of coffee. I did get new beans. They are beans that my mom uses at her house, and I love them. So I got those ordered. They got delivered today, and I thought it was so sweet that they left a little handwritten note in the box with them. But I went ahead and made myself a cup of coffee and then got right back into making that soup.